SMT Nation, we back. So Nation, fresh off the heels of Dish and T-Mobile coming to an agreement, which I told you was going to happen and I predicted it, and it was in the best interest of all parties to come to an agreement. Charlie Ergen, the president and majority shareholder owner of Dish and Dish Wireless and all those things Dish, he's back politicking, and he's trying to get his way every which way and every chance he gets. All right, so let's get through this update. And, fresh off the heels of that agreement, Dish is back in the news. All right, the article from Dano, light reading. I'll put that for you in the description. And ways to support the SMT, also in the description. All right, so Dish, Charlie Ergen, continuing to pursue Spectrum. They are they are cash strapped. They don't have a lot of capital. They're trying to secure capital to finish building out their network and to secure their future and figure out what they're doing with retail and stores. Meanwhile, they're still trying to accrue assets. They're still trying to get more spectrum, and more spectrum coming to auction from the FCC, more spectrum that they can get in on. And of course, these are assets that do appreciate in time. So he's more than willing to invest whatever he has. And it looks like they're reopening an old wound in the 12 gigahertz spectrum. They're trying to get whatever they can in the lower frequencies, the mid-band frequencies. In fact, specifically here, it looks like Ergen is very interested in getting involved in the FCC's 5G fund, which is a $9 billion fund in which there were meetings last week, and Ergen was, like I said, politicking, looking to get involved with the 5G fund for rural America. Of course, that would be huge for Charlie and company, as they could, offer their facilities and their services to more folks. And I think it opens up the opportunity potentially for fixed wireless for them. You're going to need large swaths of bandwidth, so the FCC would have to kind of show up in that respect, which they have had opportunities to try to secure more spectrum and higher frequencies for that type of purpose. But anyways, Charlie's meeting and dealing with the regulators. He's gonna preach the good story. I'm sure he'll bring up China in competition. I'm sure he'll talk about bridging the gap of connectivity and the digital divide, rural America, and all those things. And he'll talk about how they've got this incredible technology suite that allows them to do things cheaper, better, faster, blah blah blah, and all those things. Anyways, so they're in the news. They're busy again. They've got to get to that network build requirement, that percentage. What is it? 70% of the United States POPs covered at a 70% depth within each of those major markets, right? So I don't know. When I look at the 12 gigahertz band specifically, right, and how the FCC ruled against it, the fact that Charlie is still pushing for it, I mean, I agree with him in one respect. It is absolutely an ideal frequency for fixed wireless, right? Because you can turn up the power much higher for this purpose, it kind of reduces the limitations of the higher frequency, but you do get a large amount of spectrum, right? The bandwidth in that band, I mean, we're talking about 500 megahertz. That could be high powered. So you're talking about long range transmission, point to point equipment, right? Site to site, those types of things. Getting a good gateway, potentially antennas to mount in people's windows, kind of like what Verizon did with the LV65 and those types of things. I feel like that could be useful. I don't see how anybody can make an argument to go against an additional fixed wireless access provider. So you get T-Mobile in play, you got Verizon in play, you got all the local regional guys, and then you can get Dish involved. And that's a way for them to monetize their network. It's a way for them to get customers. Once you get a home internet customer, the wireless convergence becomes a lot easier. And I see what AT&T is doing. They jumped in the fixed wireless game as the copper catch, for people that are looking to possibly leave DSL, but they want to get them before they go to cable or a fiber provider or whomever, right? So this would be huge if they could reopen that possibility. The FCC kind of shot it down already. I'm not sure what his angle is. I don't know what type of support he's going to get in this. Maybe it just means that he can kind of advocate for it, and then possibly as newer frequencies become available, you know, the FCC has that squeaky wheel. They'll have to grease it eventually. Maybe that's kind of what it is. But I don't think anybody can make an argument against an additional fixed wireless provider. Right? Competition is good for pricing and consumers and options. I also think it pushes the FCC to do more, you know, and get more spectrum to market quickly to serve the American folks, right? And we need options. And building fiber is time consuming, costly, expensive, difficult, you know, NIMBYs. You got all the whole shebang, right? Permitting, the physics of it all. It's tough. So I'm all for this. Let Charlie work his magic. What he needs to do is figure out what the hell is going on with his retail business and wireless. But that's a story for another day. But what do you guys think about Charlie politicking for the 12 gigahertz, trying to get more spectrum to the market? Now that's a good tag team between him and AT&T CEO John Stankey, both kind of publicly pushing for more spectrum. All we got to do is hear some more from T-Mobile, and I think you know, Eugene with the sweaty armpits, have those leaking, being loud, and then maybe that can help. Maybe Hans gets involved too, you know, kind of tooting the horn over there at Verizon. Tell me, what do you guys think about all this? You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.